this week's episode of The Conservative Input. Um,
Yeah.
we've had a really good week. Just a really good time the past couple days. Okay, today is November 20th.
Cheers, everybody.
November 19th came the best news ever, I think. Do you guys think it was amazing news?
Yep. Yeah,
Mhm.
cheers to this. Cheers to total win, everybody. Total win
Yes.
for conservatives
Yes.
and all Americans everywhere.
It was great.
Except for BLM and Antifa.
Oh yeah, they're having a
Huge
terrible
loss.
time right now.
Hell.
Terrible time right now. But
Yeah, terrible time for BLM.
I'm the was it the governor of not the governor of Kenosha, the mayor of Kenosha was like, all right, so just respect the verdict, we're gonna accept this. I don't know exactly how it went. I knew there was riots in Chicago. So, and then I think
What?
I think BLM did something in New York. So
Wait, were there riots?
yeah, in Chicago.
I heard something about Portland.
Dang, that is
Oh
just
yeah,
so
there was
chaotic.
riots in Portland as well.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Portland
Over
one was
Kyle
really bad.
Rittenhouse?
The Portland one was really bad. I think they broke into like the police station and like I know they broke a window to a cop car, and I think they broke a couple windows in a police station, but yeah, apparently it was really bad. But yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse is free. That's great. We love that.
Yeah.
Acquitted
Total
on
win.
every single
That's
charge.
right.
It's fantastic.
Mhm.
He's innocent. Kyle defended himself very, very, very clearly.
Yes.
You can see it all on camera. Like,
And
come on.
We've actually got a source for this. This is over on Timcast, which I don't know. I like getting my news from Timcast because, I mean, even though he generally aligns with like Republican ideals, he still is on the left. Actually, I'm not too sure anymore, but he's on the left.
Mhm.
He's got a very balanced view of what's actually going on compared to mainstream media, at least. But yeah, breaking news: Kyle Rittenhouse found not guilty on all charges. The jury's verdict was returned on November 19th, just after 12 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, I remember watching this. Oh my God, I was crying with you, Kyle. I was crying with you.
Yeah, I teared up also, definitely.
It says
Yeah.
Kyle
Oh
Rittenhouse
man,
was found-
I would have cried if Kyle cried, honestly. Like
Yeah.
the way Kyle reacted to this whole thing, it was like that was definitely how I would have felt too. Like it was relief, but it was like the weight just came off your shoulders. It's like you're just the emotion just filled you, like you were because nervousness was like, oh
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking earlier, I was talking to my mom about it, but I was thinking, I'm sure he had times of like not doubting whether he was just doing it in self defense, what he did, but more like times when everyone around you is framing it like you intentionally murdered people instead of just shooting people trying to attack you. I'm sure there were times when he really was super discouraged and almost forced to believe that he was in the wrong and that he was guilty.
Oh yeah.
So that was a load lifted off of him too.
Yeah, I mean, like there was a couple times in court when he was pulled up to the stand and they asked him questions that he didn't know the answer to. He said, I guess I was. Like
Yeah.
when they pulled up a picture of a still frame of a video at a very weird angle, where it looked like he was pointing his gun at a Gage Grosskreutz or whatever.
Mhm.
He was like, "Are you pointing your gun at him here?" And he said, "I guess I was. I don't remember doing that."
what was that
And then
for?
as soon as you see it from a different angle, you can tell he's pointing at the ground.
Mhm.
Oh, and that
What?
picture, the picture of Binger, is that what you're talking about, Steven?
Like why did a guy even just like point a gun for a second? What point is he trying to make? I
don't
didn't
know.
even
Hold up,
understand.
let me look up that picture.
Like that
Binger.
is so like blah
I'm sure it'll
blah
be
blah
in
blah.
images. Yep, right here. Why are you holding the gun like this, bud? And second of all,
What is this?
wait, hold up. Where is that?
Conviction
Where is that?
possible?
Where is
Well,
it?
that's
View image. Bud,
Well, that didn't age well.
why is your finger on the trigger?
Yeah.
Why is your finger on the trigger while you're holding a gun up?
You
Okay,
trying to murder somebody?
breaking just about every single rule there is, Bud. You're not you when carrying a firearm. Never point it at somebody else. Always treat it like it's loaded. Don't put your finger on it until you know you're going to shoot. Broke every
Yeah.
single rule.
Yep. Oh.
So, yeah, so basically, just after 12 p.m. Central Time, Judge Bruce Schroeder reconvened in the court to hear the jury's verdict. He reminded those in the court that no strong reactions would be permitted. It is understood that many people do have strong feelings, but we can't permit any kind of reaction to the verdict. It's blah, 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 blah. I forget what it's called. But basically, so the lady that sits in front of the judge, she starts reading out the verdict. She reads out the first charge, not guilty. Second charge, not guilty. Third charge,
Her charge.
not guilty. Fourth charge, not guilty. And you can see him like break down and start crying, and it was just a powerful moment, And
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm really glad, cause people are calling it the Rittenhouse precedent now, saying people can just carry guns around to protest and do vigilante stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's not the precedent being set. The precedent being set is self-defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, if you get attacked, you get attacked. If you get attacked, you can defend yourself.
Well, it's funny because my liberal friend, like, he kept saying, like, Kyle is a murderer. Even though, like, I told him, it's like, dude, there were people attacking you. If there are people coming at you,
Yeah.
threatening to kill your life whatsoever, what were you supposed to do?
Yeah, and so the thing about murder is you have to have prior intent. You have to intend on killing people, and
Yeah.
that's what mainstream media is actually telling like a lot of people actually. And I've got, hold up. There's actually a picture that, I forget what it was.
What was the picture about?
It was about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I am looking for it right now. Here we go. Copy link. Oh, I can just Gmail it to myself. Oh, no, I can't. Alright, I'm gonna send it to the group chat, and then one of y'all can share it. Don't share it until you have the tweet pulled up, though. You know what I mean?
Yep. Wait, hold on. Wait.
So the point that I'm making with this image is that mainstream media has been completely twisting the story from the very beginning. And, there are people out there who think that Kyle Rittenhouse, like the three individuals that were shot, were black men.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people that believe that he came over with the rifle. There's people that believe that he had prior intent, that he was going there to kill people. There's people that believe that he administered no medical aid whatsoever.
He said, well, it says Kyle Rittenhouse cleared of murder after shooting dead two Black Lives Matter protesters. What?
Read the byline.
What the? Wait.
Read
Let
the
me.
first byline.
The first byline. Full story. Teenager who shot 3 black men. What? With rifle found not guilty on all charges.
Teenager who shot 3 black men.
Those were not 3 black men. That was a lie.
And I'll go ahead and
blatant lie.
I'll leave a link to that tweet, by the way, where I talk about that. But
Okay.
But yeah, the Independent, you're straight up lying, by the way. They changed that. They changed that shortly after.
Making everything about race.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people think he's a white supremacist. This had nothing to do with race at all.
No.
The only correlation between it and race, well, there's 2 correlations. One, Kyle Rittenhouse is mixed. Actually, he's part Hispanic. Second, well, there's three. Second, it was a Black Lives Matter protest. Third, Joseph Rosenbaum was screaming the N-word.
Oh.
So, not only are they supporting, not only is Black Lives Matter supporting a, we're not going to talk about that because that's a little bit indecent for YouTube, but they're also supporting a racist. So.
Well, there are 3 white men that were attacking him, so.
Yeah. No, BLM supporting a racist.
Yeah.
They're supporting Joseph Rosenbaum.
Wow. Yeah.
So, it's a little bit spicy up in here. But the next case are two things that aren't really being talked about at all. So, this next one is about Andrew Coffey the Fourth. He was, one second. So he was they were trying to charge him with murder. So the story is Andrew Coffey IV found not guilty on all counts of murder, attempted first-degree murder. So basically the story is back in 2017. Oh, here we go. Coffey is accused of firing at an Indian River County Sheriff's deputies during an early morning drug raid at his house or at his home back in 2017. His girlfriend, Alteria Woods, was caught in the crossfire, shot 10 times, and later died. Coffey was charged with murder of Woods after a grand jury exonerated 2 law enforcement officers for her death. Before the case went to the jury's hand, Coffey took the stand to defend himself, blaming deputies for his girlfriend's death. Me personally, the police could have done a way better job of this.
Yeah.
Definitely, because they caused the death. They did cause the death of this woman. And yeah, I know it's a raid, but he had no clue, and none of this would have happened if they had done it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So before the case went to the jury's hands, Coffey took the stand to defend himself, blaming deputies for his girlfriend's death. The defense said Coffey was asleep and thought the flashbang was a gunfire, so he fired his gun because he thought the house was under attack. I was trying to protect me and Alteria, and I thought I was doing that, but I feel I didn't protect her. I can't sleep with that. They killed her.
What? Oh my lord. What the frick is going on?
So he was acquitted of the murder charge. But the issue is he still may go to prison for up to 30 years. And that is because he was a felon. So back in, I'll scroll down to the story. Most of this is just talk. So why is Andrew Coffey IV still facing prison time? In a separate proceeding Friday, the jury convicted Coffey of 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon. According to the Department of Corrections, Coffey was convicted of fleeing law enforcement in St. Lucie County in a 2010 incident, then a battery on a law enforcement officer the following year. At this sentencing, January 13th, he faces maximum prison term of 30 years. So, I'm glad that it's a maximum sentence and not a minimum sentence, because minimum sentences, those are stupid. They're not good. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a real big fan of the prison system here. I feel like the courts are very good, but the prison system, and I don't know if this is necessarily an opinion that's across the aisle, but there definitely needs to be some work to be done. A lot of prisons are ran by private companies, and private companies are just looking for profit. I mean, let's be honest. That's a private company's job, and that's why you see tons of companies in Gay Pride Month, like Nike, Bethesda, Adidas, all these different companies advertising, changing their logo. It's all about money. And a prison system that's based on money is not a good thing, because, I mean, if we look at Kamala's career as a prosecutor in California, she put people in prison that were completely innocent. And when it went to be addressed, her company or whatever said no. We have to keep people in prison. We have to keep putting people in because we need people to put out forest fires for cheap labor. So
Wow.
yeah,
You don't hear that
you
much.
don't hear it much, which is the
Mm.
issue. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I mean, my main thing is, yeah, he was a felon, and we do have to
Hmm.
follow the laws. So I can understand that. I'm really glad that he didn't get charged with murder,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
even though he was, terrible word to use, but it's the one that I think fits. He was ignorant
Hmm.
of what was happening.
Hmm.
Um, it wasn't malicious intent.
Yeah.
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 So it wasn't. He was protecting him and his family essentially. So
Yeah.
um,
I am wondering like why we've heard relatively no one like talk about this case, or at least I haven't, especially compared to like the Rittenhouse case and everything.
Yeah.
because it's not
Um,
it's not spicy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
It
doesn't
it's
do anything for
it
their
doesn't
narrative.
it doesn't scream racism.
Yeah, I was also thinking, uh,
Even though
this
even though
may,
even though he is a black man, it doesn't scream racism.
yeah, yeah,
It's
Yeah.
just one of
true,
those run of
and
the mill
it's
stories. So
kind of like a good argument for self-defense, which is what they don't like also.
yeah.
And then also I was thinking there's a possibility that they thought it would shed light onto Rittenhouse being justified in self-defense, because
Oh
they
yeah.
would have to push for this guy being justified, Coffey, because he should be justified in a way, at least
Yeah.
not for guilty for murder. But then they would have to admit more about Rittenhouse also. So
Yeah. So but yeah, I'm glad it's a 30 maximum, not a 30 minimum,
yeah.
because going 30 years in prison for, I mean, even though he was a felon and he had a gun, he wasn't supposed to. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, from what it seems like, he was using it for self-defense. So,
Yeah.
and me personally, I don't really feel like it's, I don't really feel like it's constitutional to take away people's rights to guns, especially
Yeah.
for something like battery. Do you know what the definition of battery is?
Mm-mm.
It's physical contact, regardless of malicious intent.
And is that what he was a felon for?
Yeah, he's running from the cops and battery of an officer. So I mean, he could have had a serious physical altercation with the officer,
Yeah.
but um, it wasn't called assault. It was called battery. So I'm assuming it wasn't that serious. Um,
Hmm.
Oh.
but yeah, so we've got another case that I did not see anything about, and people are spelling her name wrong on Twitter, and I feel bad. But it's the thought that counts. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
the next story is about a young lady, 17 year
Wow.
old, named Crystal Kaiser. So, one second. Okay, here we go. Tab or window. There we go. All right. So, Crystal Kaiser, Rittenhouse defense may be used to free black teen who killed child sex trafficker. So, Crystal Kaiser was convicted of shooting Kenosha man named Volar in 2018, who had been. That right there. Not going to read that aloud. But, yeah. Social media lit up with calls for Crystal's acquittal after Kyle Rittenhouse was not found guilty on Friday, November 19th. And one thing I don't understand is how. I mean, I can see why this wasn't put up there. Um,
Hmm.
and a lot of stories like this have not been putting up for a reason. Um, and I don't know if you guys know the reason, but same reason I didn't want to get into what Rosenbaum did. Same reason here.
Hmm.
Um, but for those unfamiliar with the case, Kaiser was 17 years old when she was charged with first-degree intentional homicide for the shooting death of Kenosha man named Volar in 2018, who had
Kenosha
been,
also.
yep,
Wow.
yeah, who had been, insert terrible thing here. After
Hmm.
shooting Volar, Kaiser set his Kenosha home on fire and fled to Milwaukee in his car. At the time, Volar, 34, had been under investigation by Kenosha police for child sex trafficking. He had not been killed. Or had he not been killed, Volar would likely have been charged with child sex assault the week he died. So, how Kaiser's case is similar to Rittenhouse, Kenosha County District Attorney Michael Gravely had argued that Kaiser's motivation in allegedly shooting Volar was theft and was not related to trafficking. Oh, so this is the state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so not related to trafficking, but Kaiser, who initially denied killing Volar, later admitted to shooting him and said it was because she had gotten upset and she was tired of him touching her. She was in jail for 2 years before her $400,000 bond. $400,000. You guys remember that school shooting where that kid was let out on like $27,000?
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
$27,000
So
for shooting
bad.
up a school, but $400,000.
I think
That's awful.
didn't you say that? Didn't we talk about it
we did.
earlier? or
We
something?
did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Bond was posted by an advocacy
stupid.
group in June 2020. Since her release, she has been living in. Her case gained national attention with nearly 1.5 million people signing an online petition calling for charges against her to be dropped. Gravely said that they were willing to offer a possible plea agreement. Don't ever take a plea agreement with this type of stuff. Don't ever take a plea agreement. Period.
What exactly is that?
So it's like a plea agreement is like a plea bargain, plea deal. You basically admit to the crimes and they give you a lower sentencing. But if
Okay.
you're innocent,
Then
don't do a plea bargain. It's not worth it. That would drop the first-degree intentional homicide charge if she pleaded guilty to felony murder and bail jumping. So, earlier in June this year, Kaiser appeared in court as prosecutors planned to appeal the ruling by the State District 11 Court of Appeals, which found that Kaiser may be able to use a defense used by self-trafficking victims at her trial if she is able to produce evidence of her actions being a direct result of the trafficking she experienced. If that were the cause... So here's my thing. Here's my issue with this. If she is able to produce evidence of her actions being a direct result of the trafficking,
how would you?
it doesn't matter if it's a direct result of the trafficking, is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, so if she had killed him for theft, okay, but he had done the things that he did before then. Like, I feel like theft being the final straw is like, okay, yeah, go ahead. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
That's stupid to me. Having to prove that it was a direct result of the trafficking. I mean, he had already done some pretty terrible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it happened should be
Like,
enough. Period.
Yeah, and why wouldn't it be a result of the trafficking? You know, like, and then also, how would she prove that her intention was because of the trafficking?
See, that's
and
the
not
thing.
for some other-
That's the thing. You can't prove
Wait,
stuff
but she
like
said
that.
she said like it
Yeah.
says she killed her pedophile child sex trafficker to escape.
Yes.
That's what it says.
Which makes sense.
See, that's what they
Yeah.
said, and they don't want to believe what they said. They want to say it was theft. She was wrongfully denied access to a self-defense law, and her case is on appeal. So Crystal Kaiser better walk free. Yeah, she better walk free. It's more productive than attacking Kyle Rittenhouse. Oh, this was the tweet. These were the words on the tweet that I think I sent y'all. Or no, I didn't send y'all, but I had on my phone. One of them said, while another wrote, Crystal Kaiser, 17-year-old black girl in Wisconsin, who killed a man doing terrible things, convicted, and case is now in appeals. Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old white boy in Wisconsin who took AR-15 to protest and killed two, acquitted. The same system isn't broken. It was built this way. Yeah, that's... I hate that. These cases are very similar. She should walk free, and if she doesn't, they're gonna have more than just BLM protesters out there. I can promise you that. Because
Yeah.
this is the
And
one. This is the tweet right here. Call for justice for Crystal Kaiser of Kenosha. That's her right there.
mhm.
Was she denied though? Or just
Yeah, I think
is she really wrongfully
they
denied
initially charged her, and they denied her self
initially?
defense.
Yeah. Because of what reason?
Because they wanted to blame it on theft. They wanted to put somebody else in the prison. They get money for having people in the prison system. That's how prisons work. That's how private
Okay.
prisons work. There actually is a problem with our prisons. So,
Mhm.
and the fact that you see prosecutioners or prosecutioners, um, prosecutors. I mean, basically, prosecutioners is a pretty good summation of what they try to do. Um, prosecutors, I mean, they will lie through their teeth. We saw it in Kyle Rittenhouse, and we're seeing it here.
Yeah.
They'll lie through their teeth to put someone in prison. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if the 17-year-old girl was trafficked or not. Doesn't matter if the 17-year-old boy was attacked and kicked in the head and held at gunpoint, and it doesn't matter. They will try and get them locked up, and they'll use any means to get it. So
I wonder why the media isn't jumping on this case more though, because she's black. So I don't know. Given their past record,
It's
I
not
would think
convenient.
they would have a way to spin it.
Not convenient.
And yeah, I guess not. I guess it's too true of a case.
Yeah.
Then they can't lie about it, or else they'll be fighting the opposite. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll be fighting the prosecutors, and it's really
Yeah.
weird. It's really weird because you have people. I mean, I don't really know how everybody feels about the prison system. For a
Yeah.
while, I thought the prison system was fine until I actually watched a documentary about it, and then I looked up stuff about it. Documentary. It's called 13 or the 13th.
Mhm.
It's about race, but it gives a pretty good story about the prison system if you just look at
Okay.
it objectively. Um, I'd recommend everybody watch it. If you're watching this, go check out. It's on Netflix, but it's called 13th, I think.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. It tells you a lot about the prison system and why it's kind of messed up. Um,
Yeah, I need to watch that.
but look at it through an objective lens because they do try and skew some
Yeah.
stuff at you. But
Objectivity is important, friends. Yeah.
so what do you guys think? So looking at the and there was another case. Do you guys know Julius Jones?
No.
No.
Let me see if I can. find
Josie,
that.
wow. Guys, wow, I can't believe we didn't hear about this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I hadn't heard about any of these other than, of course, Rittenhouse.
I didn't know. I didn't hear about
Yeah.
Julius Jones until somebody. Okay, yeah. So
Until somebody told you about it.
until somebody told me about it the other day. So Governor Stitt grants Julius Jones clemency. 8 facts you need to know about his case. So let me go ahead and pull this up for y'all. Infonet, boom, 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 share. Okay, so this is Julius Jones. So Julius Jones has been on death row in Oklahoma for 19 years. For a 1999 murder he's always said he had no part in. Mr. Jones, who is represented by federal attorneys Dale Bike and Amanda Bass, was convicted and sentenced to death at the age of 19 and has now spent half his life in prison waiting to be executed for a crime that new and compelling evidence suggests he did not commit. From what I heard, they had no evidence saying that he did it. No evidence at all. But there was no evidence that he didn't do it, was the issue. So
But-
more than 6.3, which is a really big problem. The fact that we're
Yeah,
looking for
'cause-
evidence to prove that they're not, looking for evidence instead of looking for evidence to prove that they are.
Yeah, because you can't do that, like proving a negative.
Yeah, innocent
And,
until
yeah.
proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly.
So more than 6.3 million people and counting have signed a petition supporting Mr. Jones in his fight to prove his innocence in the killing of Paul Howell, a business person in Edmond. Now, I had heard about this. About a week before he was granted clemency. So, I mean, I was looking for it, and I literally could not find anything. Because it's from 1999, and I was sitting here like, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. So, I mean, this is pretty new to me, too. I haven't looked at this at all. So, Julius, blah, 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 blah. Despite this, Mr. Jones' execution had been scheduled for November 18th. His one of 7 people facing execution in Oklahoma in the next 6 months. If carried out, they will be the first executions to take place in Oklahoma since 2015 after a series of botched executions resulted in a statewide moratorium. So here's what you need to know. Julius Jones was at home having dinner with his parents and sister at the time of the murder. However, his legal team failed to present his alibi at his original trial. His trial attorneys did not call Mr. Jones or his family members to the stand. That's the defense's fault.
Wow.
Mr. Jones did not match the description of the person who committed the crime, which was provided by a sole eyewitness. The person who killed Mr. Howe was described as having 1 to 2 inches of hair, but Mr. Jones had a shaved head at the time of the murder. A man named Christopher Jordan matched the eyewitness's hair description, but claimed only to have been the getaway driver and not the shooter at the trial. He was the state's star witness against Mr. Jones. The getaway driver. That matched the description. The state's star witness. State prosecutors. I'm telling you. In exchange for testifying that Mr. Jones was the shooter, Mr. Jordan was given a plea deal. If you're guilty, plea deals are very good. But if you're innocent, don't take a plea deal. 3 people incarcerated with Mr. Jordan at different times have said in sworn affidavits that Mr. Jordan told each of them that he committed the murder and framed Mr. Jones. None of these 3 men have met Mr. Jones, and they do not know one another. And none of them have been offered a shorter sentence or incentive in exchange for disclosing Mr. Jordan's confessions. State prosecutors. So I do think this is a clear example of well, I don't really know. I mean, if it's Christopher Jordan, I mean, I'm not too sure about the race thing. Mr. Howell, a white man, was killed in predominantly white neighborhood immediately. Then District Attorney Bob Macy characterized the crime as an act of violence committed by a black man. Okay. Fueled by drugs. This narrative was perpetuated by media coverage. So I don't think this is. I agree with, I'm assuming, innocenceproject.org that I do not think it was race related. I think it was just a murder. So
Yeah.
I hate pinning murders on racism. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. The officer who arrested Mr. Jones called him the N-word and dared him to run, then implied he would shoot him if he did. 11 out of the 12 jurors at Mr. Jones' trial were white, and 1 juror referred to Mr. Jones by the N-word and suggested that he be taken out behind the courthouse and shot. So that's... Yeah, okay. I'm siding with this. I don't quite know where this was. It was in Oklahoma. I can see that happening. This bad. They should have sent that germ away. That's That's not how this
I
goes.
think like the first part of their sentence, like saying 11 out of the 12 jurors were white, like that's not inherently a problem. But the second part with the guy being like that and suggesting he be taken out behind the courthouse and shot, that is the problem.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same thing with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. 8 out of the 12 jurors were women. I mean, and women tend to lean more left. And every single one of them said not guilty. So I do not think this is the 12 jurors being white. I think this is the state prosecutor taking advantage of the situation, and I think it's the defense not doing a very good job of defending the defendant. 1/3 of the district attorney, this is the state, Macy's death penalty convictions have been overturned due to prosecutorial misconduct. There we go. Misconduct. We saw that in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Many of these whose convictions were vacated are black people. To date, 10 people sentenced to death in murder cases in Oklahoma have been exonerated. That's to date, period, total. 10 people sentenced to death in murder cases in Oklahoma have been exonerated. I mean, that number doesn't really mean anything. Because that doesn't say if they were guilty or not. So.
Yeah.
Now, my opinion on the death penalty, I feel like has changed a little bit. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. I still feel like if there is overwhelming amount of evidence. Because, I mean, let's be honest, there was no evidence. There was one witness who was a star witness, but description didn't match. He had a alibi. I mean, the defense should have really done a better job, is my thing.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he got clemency. I don't know what clemency. What does clemency mean? Can you look up clemency?
Yeah. Let me do that.
Because I don't know what that means exactly.
I'm not fully sure either. Okie dokie. Okay, so it says clemency, willingness or ability to moderate the severity of a punishment. A mechanism for granting a person convicted of criminal offense relief from a court-ordered sentence.
There we
or
go.
measures.
There we go. Yeah, I'm really glad he was granted clemency.
Yes.
Because, like I said, an alibi, star witness, liar, prosecutorial misconduct, however you say that, he didn't deserve that. 19 years locked up waiting for his death, and he didn't even commit the crime.
Yeah, that's awful.
Especially, and I really don't see the point. I really don't see the point, because it's like, at least in cases like this, I don't see the point in the death penalty from a state prosecutor's perspective. I really don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they're trying to meet a quota, but who's giving them quotas for, executions?
Yeah.
Like, that's messed up.
That'd be pretty bad.
So they either wanted to... It might have been a case that they just wanted to throw out. They wanted to get rid of, like, right away, but they wanted someone punished for it. I don't know. I don't think them attacking him was race-related.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the attack on Mr. Howell was race-related. I felt like it was just a bad dude doing a bad thing. I feel like them picking him, because I'm sure Christopher, the person who matched the description, was... I'm actually not too sure. What was the guy's name?
Christopher Jordan?
Christopher Jordan?
I think.
What's up, Christopher Jordan? Christopher Jordan... Julius Jones. Let's see if it has a picture of Christopher Jordan. Yep. Right here. Christopher Jordan's black too. So, I do not think them picking... I don't think them picking Julius was race-related. I don't think the attack was race-related. But...
Because they could have had just as much to pick him instead.
That jury, in cases like this, where they're claiming things are race-related, I think they really should have more equal representation of the defendants' true peers. Because, I mean, when you have a guy... in the jury saying the N-word, and 11 out of 12 of the jurors are white, and nothing happened, we've got a little bit more of a problem here. So I mean, and it's hard to say because. Oh wow. Okay. We're gonna restart.
Okay.
All right. Let me pause this. I'm not trying to say that we should like. I'm not one of those people. It's like, oh, we need to have juries that are like completely made up of, people who are exactly like the defendant. Because
Yeah.
we'll run into times when we do have juries that are biased one direction or the other.
Mhm.
And that's not a good thing. But we can't have juries like I know the judge in the Rittenhouse trial sent out a few. One because he was making a joke about Jacob Blake. So
What?
he was
Hey.
one of the jury members in the Rittenhouse trial made a joke about Jacob Blake.
Oh.
Yeah. Um. Do you know what happened with Jacob Blake, Steven?
I think wasn't Jacob Blake like okay, so what I know is like he got charged for like domestic violence and
Okay.
then still with I think he was trying to break up a fight or something between two women.
No. So
Like, the cops chased him down and they tried to tase him, but the taser didn't work. But then he reached for the weapon and that's when the cop went bam, bam, bam.
So I don't know about the taser. So what happened with the Jacob Blake story? He was charged with domestic
Domestic
violence.
violence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Against his baby
Girl
mama, girlfriend, wife. I don't know exactly what she was.
girlfriend, yeah. He got
Yeah.
charged with domestic violence against his girlfriend.
Yeah. Um, and there was also times when he had like stolen her vehicle and crashed it or whatever. And I think it was like a rented vehicle. So what happened was he went over to her house, and she called the cops, saying, "Hey, my boyfriend who has, he's not allowed to be here. He's done some pretty bad things before. I think he had a warrant. I don't know if he had a warrant
Yeah,
out for his arrest,
he
but
had a warrant. Yeah, he
he did
did
have a warrant.
definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she called the police on him, and when the cops arrived, they were following him around a vehicle, and he had her two kids in the back seat of the vehicle,
Mhm.
and I don't know if he reached for the weapon that was in the vehicle when he opened up the door, or if he set the weapon down. I think he was reaching for the weapon, but he reached for the weapon. So
I think so.
the cop shot him in the back. I think it
Mhm.
was I want to say it was 8 times.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
he's not dead.
Mhm.
Mainstream media has been twisting that as well.
Yeah.
A lot of news stations have been saying that he was shot and killed by police officers. He's not shot and killed. He's paralyzed.
Yeah.
That sucks, but you have to
Yeah.
think
Mhm.
he was gonna take her car. That's theft. He's probably gonna crash her car.
Mhm.
That's property damage. He had a warrant out for his arrest. He had a charge for domestic violence, and I actually heard somewhere that he had sexually assaulted her. And then
Mhm. I
he had
think I
her
heard
kids
that.
in the car, so that's kidnapping.
Mhm.
And there was a weapon.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure 8 times was a good thing.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
The cop could have had a little bit more restraint. Um, but you're gonna do what you're gonna do when you're trying to protect your life, somebody else's life. Um, no excuse for the 8 bullets, but
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, he was a criminal. He was going to do illegal things. He needed to be stopped before he put someone's life in danger. So,
Yeah.
um, one of the jurors made a joke about that. So the judge dismissed him because making a joke about it clearly means you have a strong opinion one way or the other because the BLM riots were because of Jacob Blake.
Yeah.
So knowing that the riots were about Jacob Blake, making a joke about Jacob Blake shows you are biased towards Kyle. So, came out after I think before the verdict actually that one of the jurors was not staying away from the news. She had been watching the trial, or she had been watching the news about the trial. So, um, nothing came of that though. He was acquitted of all charges, so that's good. Um, but yeah, we've talked about 4 cases:
Yep.
Rittenhouse, Julius Jones, uh,
Coffee.
yeah, Coffey, and then Crystal,
Kaiser.
yeah, Kaiser. Um,
Very interesting.
yeah, Crystal definitely deserves to be acquitted. I'm really glad Julius Jones uh, was granted clemency. Um, with Coffey, I'm glad they got rid of the murder charge.
Yeah.
Um, because it was not intentional homicide.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what the definition of homicide is?
Is it premeditated?
No.
Premeditated murder.
No.
Killing.
So homicide, um, is person kills person.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't
And
doesn't matter what the circumstances are. It's always homicide.
Mhm. Yes. Okay.
Intentional homicide is one person killed person intentionally.
Yeah.
Murder, I don't know if murder is premeditated or if it's just intentionally
so.
as well, but
See.
Kyle Rittenhouse did commit homicide.
Yeah. It says murder definition is the unlawful premeditated killing of one human being by another.
Unlawful, premeditated, and they were trying to convict. They're trying to convict Kyle of murder.
That's crazy.
It wasn't unlawful, and it wasn't premeditated.
Yeah.
Self-defense is a reasonable reason for not homicide, but subduing a threat which may lead to homicide.
Mhm.
And it wasn't premeditated. He did not plan on killing the people. So, but yeah, I'm really glad about these cases. I really hope he does not get 30 years. I hope he's given a much lesser sentence considering everything around the issue. I do expect him to go to prison though. So, for something back in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah. So we have a little bit of time left. I do want to look at Joe Biden's approval rating again because I'm sure it's changed. But
really?
before we get to that, what are our opinions on? So I've shared my opinions on the prison system. How do you guys feel about the prison system overall?
Well, from what you said, I agree with you, but I also won't know enough about it.
Yeah.
Haven't researched or watched any documentaries or anything. But yeah.
So I mean, me personally, I do feel okay. So with the prison system, I know I've been talking a lot of crap about it. It's not 100%. I want to say it's about halfway there. We do need to focus on punishing criminals for their crimes,
Yes.
but there doesn't need to be a lot of we do need to look a lot into getting these people out of prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I watched a short documentary on, you guys know the guy that was a cannibal in Germany?
No.
Yeah, so he there was this cannibal. He recorded himself basically cutting up some guy.
Oh.
Yeah, and eating him. So he went to prison, but since he's gone to prison, he has become vegan, and he is so well behaved. He is so well behaved. They let him out on weekends. Yeah.
No way.
So well behaved, they let him out on weekends.
Oh.
And he's been super adamant about making sure his story is told. He wants people to know.
Because he changed.
Because he changed, and he knows he know it was a terrible thing, and he knows that people seeing this story, people seeing what's happening, people seeing that he's changed, is going to tell them that this is not something they should be doing. So, and that's the type of reform that I think we should try to have. I don't know if it was exactly reform in his case or if it was just a change of heart on his own, but there does need to be some level of reform in our prison system, because having people in prison for decades, it not only is it a burden on the taxpayer, but I mean, what is that gonna do? I mean, yeah, you're keeping them out of society, but I mean, if you're gonna keep them in prison until they die, I mean, what's 3 meals a day to give someone a crappy life? You know.
Mhm.
I really want to
Yeah.
see them get rid of minimum sentencing, because I mean, you get charged with something regardless of the information around the case. And I'm talking about the situation. I'm not talking about like race or motive, unless the motive's like self defense, a kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, Looking at the situation, um, definitely calls for lower sentencing. Like there was a story of this father in Texas where I think he killed some guy who touched his son at a bus stop inappropriately, and he
Mhm.
was they did a jury nullification, which basically means he's guilty, but there's no reason to punish him for it because it was justified.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
um, and that also happened with another guy in Texas who beat some guy that sexually assaulted his daughter. So
Wow.
What?
yeah,
There's just no way.
yeah, jury
There's no.
jury nullification is an amazing thing. I love it. Um, but so how do you feel about the prison system, Stephen?
I don't know. I think it needs some. Maybe it might need some improvement.
Some improvement.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. Um, much different. My opinion is much different than a lot of people though, who say like it's either prison or bust, or um, no prisons at all. So um,
Yeah.
now have we have how do we feel about the death penalty?
I think I support it for like high crimes. People
Yeah.
who commit high crimes. I
Yeah.
think I would support that penalty for them. But minor crimes, I would just
Yeah.
kind of like just give them jail time.
So when you say high crimes, you mean with like undeniable evidence as well, right?
Yep, like
Yeah.
murdering people.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel
With
like
school.
and there's a lot of people who are like, oh, especially there's a lot of Christians who are like, oh, we can't do the death penalty. I mean, we're all made in God's image. We
Yeah.
can't take the life of somebody. And I understand that
Yeah.
coming from, I am Christian, so I understand that. I just feel like when it gets to the point where you're impeding on somebody else's God-given rights, natural rights that we all have as human beings, um, that's when we need to start looking into it. Um,
Yeah.
Definitely not in Julius Jones' case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
There was nowhere near enough evidence. I'm
Mhm.
sure he didn't even look like the guy. Did he? Did I look up did I see the picture of Julius Jones?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, he doesn't even look like the guy.
Hmm. Weird.
Wait, is this a picture of Julius Jones right here? This photo is Oh no, this photo does show Julius Jones. Okay, no, that's not Julius Jones. Who's Chris Jordan? I want to see a picture of Chris Jordan. Jeez.
all right. Oh, did you say we were gonna look at Biden? Didn't
Christopher
we say we were
Jordan
gonna look
today.
at Biden's approval ratings again?
Yeah, we got to look at it again, man.
Oh, I love to see it. I love to see it.
So yeah, I don't think they have a picture of Chris Jordan
Mhm.
actually, but
Okay.
it's that sucks. I wish I could have found a picture. Um, but yeah, it's messy. It's messy. So yeah, let's look at these approval ratings. Wait, Josie, how do you feel about the death penalty? I don't think we got your opinion
Oh
on it.
yeah. I agree with you guys basically. Like, I don't like the fact that it needs to exist, but I think it is justified
Yeah.
when it's obviously all the evidence points toward undeniably that someone did completely murder someone, then yeah, I think it should be a thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people's opinions on it are based on what happens with the death penalty, like in real life. See, when I say I agree with the death penalty, I feel like it's better to say that I agree with the concept of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Punishing those who have convicted the most terrible crimes that there are.
Yeah.
The way it's done in real life, there's a lot of people who are executed that are wrongfully executed. Not saying that everybody, but you know.
Mhm.
All right, so let's look at Joe Biden's approval rating.
Oh yeah, let's go. Let's bring up the tape. Let's bring
Yep.
up the
Let's bring it
let's
up.
bring up the evidence against him.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, as of right now, he is at 51.8% disapproval and 42.5% approval.
Mm.
So, I think his pretty much leveled off. His disapproval is still rising. So,
Yeah.
we've got let's look at the disapproval. So, we've got a 58% disapproval here by Rasmussen. 54, 56, 55.
Oh gosh.
With a whole bunch of
Oh
40s
gosh.
in between. But we've got
Frick
a
off.
37 by Redfield. We've got a 36% approval by Quinnipiac. So the lowest adjusted is still 38. Nope, 37% right here. 36. We talked about this one I think last week, but 37 disapproval right here. So adjusted
Wow.
disapproval is at
Yeah.
37, and I think that's the lowest for any Democrat president ever.
Wow.
Let's look
Right.
at that. Lowest or no, highest disapproval ratings. Highest disapproval ratings. Oh, let's see. Let's see at this. Okay, highest disapproval rating of 54.8% disapproval. So all we've got to do is we got to beat 54.8%. Yeah.
I don't
Nice.
I don't know. I feel like the way that Trump's approval rating though was, I think it was a little. I think it was just mostly because the media misguided the public about Trump.
Yeah, for sure. But
Oh yeah.
I think we can still beat it with Biden.
Yeah. Oh, for
No,
sure.
but
I mean,
people are
we got
waking
we've
up
got
now.
getting
People are
there.
waking up. I think people are waking up to what Biden is doing
okay
now.
lowest
They're like,
approval
oh
ratings
crap.
for presidents. Presidents with
They're
the
like,
lowest approval ratings. So we've got George Bush, 71% approval.
Wait, 71% approval.
Yeah, these are
Yeah.
the lowest. Harry Truman,
how is that
67. Richard
Wait,
Nixon.
They're
George
all
Bush? How's that popular? How is that possible?
What do you
Is
mean?
George Bush really that popular with the people? How is that even possible?
I mean, he's not anymore. He was very popular when he
Yeah.
was president. Harry Truman, 67%. Richard Nixon,
Oh.
66. George Bush, 60. Jimmy Carter, 59. Donald Trump, 58. Oh, this is the highest disapproval.
Oh.
What?
Nah.
This is with the lowest
This
approval
president's
ratings.
with the lowest approval ratings.
But then it's listing the disapproval?
Yeah, this is weird. His approval rating was 35%. So, we have not hit 35 yet. I haven't hit 35.
Well, we might. I think we might.
Yeah, I think we will.
What was Donald Trump's? Donald Trump's lowest approval rating was at 37. So
37.
he's officially had a lower approval rating than Donald Trump.
Wow.
But he has had the lowest approval rating of any Democrat president.
Wow.
Ronald Reagan was Republican. Bill Clinton was, 37. Bill Clinton had the lowest for a while. And I think Lyndon Johnson was a Republican, right?
I think so.
Can
Let me check.
someone look that up for me?
He was. Where is it? Democrat.
Oh, he was a Democrat, really.
Mm-hmm.
So they must have been taking a 35 from somewhere. I can't. Did Joe Biden have a 35 anywhere?
Uh, I'm not sure. I don't
You're not sure?
remember. I don't think so. I think 36 was the lowest.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that claim then, because I had read that he had the lowest approval rating of any Democrat president. But I mean, if Lyndon Johnson was a Democrat,
Wait, what did Lyndon have?
I think. Oh, geez, let me look at it again. Oh
Okay.
Lord, I can't bring up my. Here we go. Lyndon Johnson's lowest approval rating was 35.
Okay.
And it was because of the Vietnam War.
Okay. So we're not quite there.
Yeah.
But we're almost.
We might. I think Biden is just gonna go down, and if he keeps his antics up, I think it's just only gonna get worse.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I mean, okay, so here's the thing. I'm pretty sure Kamala Harris has a very low approval
No,
rating.
Kamala Harris is worse.
I think it's
She's
like
worse than Biden.
28% approval rating. Like
I
everybody
never
hates
thought
her.
it seems. I think
Um,
Kamala Harris is worse than Biden, to be honest.
Also,
Biden is
wasn't she our president for a few
Yeah,
hours?
she was our first
yesterday?
female president for an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah,
With
wow, such an
colonoscopy.
achievement.
Yeah.
Such an achievement. Like
Absolute
wow, I guess
wonderful presidency.
take that,
But
Hillary Clinton.
imagine. Okay, guess I'm gonna be a history teacher.
Okay.
When I teach about our first female president, I'm gonna be saying, yeah, our first female president got handed power because our acting president had to get his butt inspected. He got a colonoscopy, and he was. Guess what? Guess what? Trump didn't go under anesthesia when he got his colonoscopy done, so he didn't have to hand off power. He did it awake.
Oh.
Biden was put under anesthesia though. Hey,
Oh my
let's be
God.
honest. Trump's an OG.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kamala Harris had a very productive hour and a half presidency.
Yep.
Come on now. Got a lot of stuff done.
For
My
sure.
gosh.
I remember seeing his letter saying
Yeah.
that he was handing off power. I refreshed the screen on Twitter, and there I see his letter saying that he's taking back power. I think it was absolutely amazing. Oh my.
It's
Oh.
so funny.
But yeah, I think that's it for us today. Did we
Yeah,
have
I
a
think
did we have a
so.
pretty short? Or
A little shorter.
did we just fill it up very well?
I think we filled it up for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
where can
That
we
was a
find
good
us?
episode. Oh, wait. YouTube,
You can find us on YouTube, on Instagram at
Spotify.
The Conservative Input. It's right there up the top for anybody who can't see. But where can we find like us? Where can we find you, Josie?
Okay. Josie L Hair _51 on Instagram.
All right. And what about you?
All right. Okay, everybody. Once again, if you want to find me on Instagram, go and follow me at The Conservative One too. I post a lot of conservative content and also faith-based content for any of you that are religious out there, you know, because I like to talk about faith and politics. Faith and politics, I think, are very important and integral for our country and for the world.
Of course.
And Tim, where do we find you?
Okay, well, you can find me, at... Ooh. I'm having a brain fart right now. Oh, geez. Oh, this is for the B-roll. I'm the one being joked on this time. Ouch. So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lord Tim Holtz. I'm more active on Twitter. Okay? I have a lot of fun on there. I had 3 people block me.
3? I thought
3
you said
in one
30.
day.
Nice.
What
That was
for?
epic. Oh, because... somebody said on Twitter that Kyle Rittenhouse killed a black man, and I was like, "Who did he kill again?" He just blocked me,
Oh my God.
and then somebody
let's
somebody
go?
they were talking
Again?
about it. Somebody was talking about it, and someone said, "Wait, I'm lost," and somebody commented underneath it that Kyle Rittenhouse murdered 2 men and shot another. At a BLM protest, or innocent protesters. And I'm like, you forgot to mention the part where one of them was a pedophile, one of them was a domestic abuser, and one of them was a convicted felon. The person I
Oh.
said that to didn't block me, but the person who asked what happened and the person who said the initial tweet blocked me. So,
Wow.
It's
Good
fun.
job.
But yeah, at Lord Tim Holtz on Instagram and Twitter, and at the Red Rebellion on Instagram as well. That's my kind of meme page. So I've had a little bit of a booming on there. I'm actually excited about it. But that's mostly for political stuff. So yeah. But that's gonna do us
Okay.
for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving indeed.
Have a wonderful Thursday. I don't know if
Have a
Yeah.
wonderful Thanksgiving.
it's on Thursday. Are we gonna be able to? Are we gonna be able to do
I
stuff
don't think
that
I'll
Saturday?
be able to on Saturday. I will not.
How are you gonna be doing Saturday, Steven?
Well,
Are you gonna be able to join Saturday?
I'm just. I think I have time.
You think you have time?
Like, no,
All right. I'm pretty sure
Is it next
I'm pretty sure Christmas falls on a Saturday this year, so we might have to skip that one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I will not be.
yeah, that's fine, Josie. It's okay. We're probably gonna end up
it's
skipping it.
okay.
But yeah, that's gonna be it for us today. Expect us on Saturday. May not be all of us. Maybe just be me, Steven, or maybe just me. But yeah. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know, hit the bell if you want notifications. I don't know who would not want notifications for this, but go ahead. And then check out the podcast. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
God bless you all, and God bless America.
Adios. You making fun of me, Josie? I see how it is. All right, I'll leave you all alone. You guys have a nice night.
One today, yeah.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, Kyle Rittenhouse and the conservatives have won. Yeah, we won a total win. Okay, let's play it out.
B-roll. Okay. All right. I almost said welcome to Subway.
Alright,
Oh
what?
God.